Hello and welcome to another edition of the Business Owner Elevation Podcast. Guys, are you ready for today's episode? I'm not going to give too much away, but it's going to be a storm. And the reason why I believe that is because of the guest who we have on today, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. I think we're going to blow the roof off on this one. So I have with me today, and bear in mind before we go any further, explicit warning, guys. So we have Alonzo, Action, motherfucking Jackson in the house. How you doing, Alonzo?
Good, I am great. I was having a great day, but that whole intro, man, just got me. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So, guys, I'm just going to give you a little bio of Alonzo just so you can understand who he is, and then we're going to dig deep into, what he's about and how he can help you guys just by some of the things he's doing and the message that he's spreading and sharing. So first of all, his specialist subject is high energy, authenticity, and raising your vibrations. And boy, your vibrations are going to be raised after this episode, believe you and me. So a few years ago, I met a monk at a mastermind retreat. When I asked him what was the biggest thing I could take from the experience to share with the world, he said, happiness. I said, motherfucking right. As a lit life coach and a motherfucking monk, I help people find happiness within. I'm also a certified personal trainer, business and brand consultant, social media marketer, and design lead for Leadership Masters, a corporate leadership development company. Welcome to the show, Alonzo. I just want to say, first of all, Elevation Nation is our community of listeners. And so, we are most humble and really much looking forward to this interview.
Yes, me too. I'm humble myself, man.
Good.
Just to be here speaking to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Awesome. So let's get into this. The first question I'd like to ask you is, do you have an elevated mantra or a success quote or something that you replay in your mind that keeps you headed towards success and kind of living the best life that you can?
Oh, man. Okay. So I have a morning ritual.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Every morning before I even get up out of bed, as soon as I wake up, I get grateful. I just say thank you, first of all, for waking up, because, I could have woke up dead, and that ain't the way to go. And I just think of anything aside from that, think about the support I've had from my loved ones and my family and friends, and just being able to share myself with people and help them to kind of get the same energy that I have. So I just get grateful for being able to do all of that stuff.
Awesome. Cool.
Second, still in bed, still laying down, I set my intention to align to truth. Mm-hmm. So that's the second step. And the third, I remind myself of who I am, because we're humans, but we're a soul. We're really just our soul inside our body.
Yeah.
And our soul is connected to this greater energy, this greater source. And we forget that sometimes. Mm-hmm. So whenever I feel like shaking up, I feel fear, I feel mad, I remind myself that I am not this body. Yeah. I'm greater than this. I'm so much bigger than this. Mm-hmm. And I just remind myself of that. Then I get up. Right now, I'm with my sister. I'm staying with my sister. Okay. So I make her breakfast. She got to go to work. Sometimes we go to the gym first. Mm-hmm. I make her breakfast after we get back from the gym. Then I go meditate. And like I said, after I meditate, I meditate again, basically. I go outside. There's a nice little spot with a stream in the woods. I just go out there and just say thank you some more. Because, having high energy really is about feeling good and being grateful for everything that we have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think as we get into this interview, I want to dig more and more so for instance, all the business owners, the coaches, the consultants, the people listening to this right now. I mean, one of the biggest things that I've also learned is exactly what you just mentioned in terms of being grateful, the truth, and then just knowing that you're much more than this body. And it's actually a story and sometimes a bit of an explanation I share with my son. Like sometimes we're talking and I want him to think bigger, just like you mentioned. I give the analogy that Ruben is my son's name. So he's 11 now. Not too long ago, he turned 11. And I say to him, Ruben, we're driving. And I said, all you're doing is driving in the body, Ruben. Yeah, your spirit is the true north. Yeah. And that's how I kind of get him to understand actually, whoa. And I know it's a bit morbid, but I always kind of, when you're a kid, you don't kind of get the kind of non-touchy-feely stuff because it's almost like it's alien to you. So I always say to him, you know, just imagine if somebody, and excuse me guys, getting a bit graphic here, if somebody chopped your finger off or your arm, you still exist and you still know right from wrong and what to do. And that's how I get him to understand that actually you're more than just a body. And he's like, I get it, Dad. I'm like, yeah. And so, you know, I think a lot of times we're too focused and too into all of life and all the kind of jazz and all the, you know, just craziness that's going on, that we actually forget, like you just said, we're actually much bigger than this body. Yeah, there's more to life. So thank you for sharing it. And I think especially for our listeners, it's something that I've been guilty of in the past, where I'm just not giving it a second thought and just, I'm going 100 miles an hour. And it's like, why aren't things working for me? But anyway, not enough about me, but thank you for sharing that. I want to ask you now, Alonzo. So I come across you because, like I said, just before in agreement, before we started the interview, I noticed you liking some of my posts on Instagram, and I thought, let me see who this guy is. And I see this guy with this big chest out, like, and I'm like, whoa, like this guy must be a rapper or something. He's got the do-rag on or something. And so like all of the business people listening right now, like, what the heck's Leon talking about? But anyway, so I'm seeing this guy, and then I thought, let me check this video and let's see what this guy's going to rap about. And actually he starts preaching, but in a positive way and just sharing his message. And I come across his stuff, and I'm like, damn, this guy is Samuel L. Jackson on like 100 times steroids in meditation. And I was just saying a moment ago, I was explaining to my girlfriend Magdalene, I was like, man, I'm about to interview this guy, and he's the living Samuel L. Jackson. Like, he's going to be crazy. So what I want to find out from you is kind of like, take us back to where the entrepreneur journey started for you, or whatever that spark was. Because I know you mentioned in the bio about, you know, you met this monk. I'm interested to kind of know, like, you know, where did all of this start as Alonzo, and then right up to where you are right now? Just take us through kind of like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Let me see. So I guess I'll start with where Action Motherfucking Jackson came from.
Yeah.
That was a nickname given to me when I was in the Navy.
Wow.
So this was this guy who I used to work with, little short, bald black guy. And every time he seen me, he would look at me like, Action Motherfucking Jackson. And I was 18 at the time. I joined the Navy right out of high school. So, you know, trying to find yourself at that point.
Yeah. And
because he called me that, and everybody laughed, and everybody started calling me that, I started to build my identity around action, around being about action, being about stuff. Now, at this point, I was kind of like a rebel without a cause. So, you know, the Navy is discipline, structure, do this, do that. But that's not me. So I was just kind of a rebel around acting, doing stuff on the boat. I didn't get any kind of fights or anything, but I did get in some trouble in the Navy. Anyway, fast forward from that. The one thing that I learned from the Navy, so many good experiences, so many benefits, but the main thing that I learned was I cannot work for somebody else.
Yeah.
I can't. All right, so fast forward, I got out of the Navy. I started going to college for a while. I wasn't feeling that, so I actually dropped out and decided to go straight to the personal training route, because I had decided I wanted to be in college for kinesiology, but they wanted me to do all this math stuff, and I'm like, more math? I want to train people. I want to help people get in shape. So I was like, forget that. I don't want to do that anymore. I went ahead and got my personal training certification. Actually got really, really focused on that. This is when I dropped my social life and everything, decided I want this. And I ended up going through this course, and I got through the course early because I was really focused. And as soon as I got out the course, I had a job lined up with a gym out in San Diego. I lived in San Diego for 10 years during the Navy. And I worked for them for 3 months before deciding, you know what, I can do this on my own. And I quit. That was it. No more of that. So I had so much confidence in myself. I decided, you know, I'm going to quit. I'm going to get all these clients, and I'm just going to do my thing. I'm just going to work hours on top of hours and just make this money and do my thing. Of course, you know the entrepreneur journey, it never works out like that. I jumped, I leapt, and I felt like a fucking stone. So this is where I started getting into a lot of self-improvement, because I was under so much stress of not having money to pay rent and stuff like that. I was like, I can't allow myself to live like this. Yeah. So I went about trying to working to steal my mind against stress and things like that. I started listening to Tony Robbins tapes and things like that. And the biggest thing that was really stressing me out was not being able to get clients.
Okay.
So I was just digging deep. I'm learning Tony Robbins stuff. I'm trying to learn marketing and stuff. And it seems like it was such a long time because I was so stressed out, but it was only a few months before I actually ended up meeting a 7-figure business consultant who had hit me up online, like, hey, I want somebody to come and train me this many times a week, and I didn't know who he was at first. So I was struggling and I didn't have money like that. So I'm like, man, if I got to drive to this guy, it's going to take gas, and gas is going to take money I don't have. And at this time, I'm like, gas or food. But I eventually decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'll figure it out. So I ride over this guy's house. And you might have noticed, had some times in your life when you riding around, you're looking at all the big houses like, wow, I want to live there. So I'm pulling into this neighborhood like, damn, look at these houses. I end up pulling into this gate. And I'm like, okay. So I meet this guy, Ed Rush, like I said, 7-figure business consultant. He was down. He saw that I was hungry and I wanted to learn. So every time I go there, train him, he would give me a book. And every time I'll come back, train him again, I'll give it back and he'd give me another one. So he started inviting me to these events he was having. Like since he's a 7-figure business consultant, the first one he invited me to was, he was creating a product that was like $2,000, $2,500. And he was recording it and holding like an event at the same time.
Yeah.
So in this, I learned business consulting in 3 days. In 3 days of this event, I learned more about business than I did in 2 years of college. Okay. So at this point, I met another one of my mentors, Doug Allen, who, after meeting me for 2 days, was like, hey, you want to write a book? And I was like, well, write a book? I've been training not even 9 months, not even for a full year yet. So I was kind of like, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
But then I remembered, I'm actually motherfucking Jackson. I can do whatever. So I did that. And that's how I created my first 2 books. We did 2 books. I co-authored one with his daughter. And we did them. We got out of that event on Thursday. We met up and started working on Friday. By Monday, we had 2 books on Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, that was another term, like focus.
Yeah.
But this guy, Doug, is the one who invited him to these masterminds. And his friend is Ananda Giri, this spiritual leader, this monk.
Yeah.
And that's the guy who I met, who said happiness is the key.
Okay.
Right there was when I started the whole happiness thing.
Wow. So how long ago was that?
That was in 2013.
Okay. So we're like 5 years on now.
5 years now.
Cool.
And a big part about meeting the monk was we had this, like I said, it was a mastermind event. So it was a bunch of people there. We had this, we were in this mansion in Marietta, California. And they put this blessing on us called the Diksha. It's a oneness blessing. And it basically triggers your spiritual transformation. So from that point on, it was like all these things started happening where I started growing more spiritually. I stopped looking at everything like marketing and make money and this and that, and more like help people. Still make money, but helping people was first. That was the number one thing. And from there, I had all these different entrepreneurial experiences. I was a personal trainer, but then when I met the business consulting people, I want to do business consulting because it's far more lucrative. I can help a lot more people. And if you can help people make money, they're definitely going to want to work with you.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you know that, marketing. So I went from personal training to business consulting to social media marketing. And as I was doing the social media marketing, there was one time where I was hearing all this music. I was hearing music that was just making me move. It was getting me inspired, just dancing and inspiring me to do stuff. So I was like, damn, how can I move people the way that these musicians are moving me?
Yeah.
So one day I was meditating and I saw a microphone in my meditation. So from then I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a speaker. I don't know how, but I'm going to be a speaker. So I started thinking about podcasting and things like that. Another thing that happened, a big thing that happened this time, I lost my last few social media marketing clients. So the rug was pulled out from under me. That was a rough time. I actually moved back in with my parents at this point, which was something I've been dreading for years and years and years. And I always look back at that experience to tell people, if you fear something for long enough, it's going to come into your life. Okay. If you keep putting out that vibration, you're going to attract that fear to you.
Yeah.
But that was a massive growing experience. I'm appreciative for moving in with my parents because I was able to go back and just helped heal so much shit that we had been through with each other. You know, and it really strengthened my connection with them so much.
Cool.
At this point, I've decided to stop trying to do everything like focusing on money and just really do things that I love. So that's where the whole monk thing came from. That's where the whole lit life coach thing came from.
Yeah.
So that's where right now I'm kind of rebranding, working on just putting everything together in a way where I can do what I do at a high level, like you said, for the CEOs and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, yeah, not too much on that.
Cool, thanks for sharing that. I think there's obviously a lot to take from that, and I didn't know you were in the Navy, first of all. I was in the Navy Cadets when I was probably about 12 or something.
Yeah.
So I remember tying those knots, reef knot, and whatever else. So
I'm sure you still remember that stuff?
Kind of, yeah.
You know more about tying knots and Navy stuff than I remember about Navy.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot what the actual knot was called, but I remember one used to be called round turn 2.5 hitches, and that's when you used to tie the boat up, and I was like, wow. Anyway, so that's for another conversation. So here's the question then. So I really like the message that you put out there, and I think in terms of, you know, the whole positive vibe on it. I like the fact that, let's cut straight to the point. Like you curse, you swear, you know, and in reality, I speak to clients, I speak to, you know, friends and so on, and that language is commonplace in what I do. And this question is kind of off the cuff. Do you think that detracts from the message? And I'm just asking for your personal view. What do you think?
Not at all.
Okay.
One of the biggest things with me is authenticity.
Yeah.
If you feel it, let it out. Don't filter yourself, because somebody else is going to feel it too. There are people who will say like, oh, what did you say? Oh, how could you say that? But there's also people like, fucking right. I love it. Because people want to be free like that. People want to be free. Something that Ed Rush, my first mentor, told me, he said people are so worried about attracting people instead of repelling the ones that don't resonate. So what I do, it not only attracts the people who dig my style, dig my energy, but it pushes away the people who don't. Yeah. So, you know, I have a clear vision of the people who want to work with me, the people who dig what I do.
No, that's cool. I like that approach, actually. So for me, it's kind of exactly what you said. I think it's more about qualifying or disqualifying the people who you do want to work with, and actually the people who are resonating to that message. And that's why we're doing this interview right now, because I played the first video and I'm like, shit, me, is this guy for real? Like, let me check the next. So it's like, this guy's for real. So for me, I think that's a really cool thing. So you've been through some challenges, as you mentioned. You've had some breakthroughs, and I think obviously stumbling across your mentors as well was a really great thing, because, you know, as you know, and then as a lot of people know, cultural mentors, you know, one of the fastest ways for you to accelerate through wherever you're trying to get to, wherever you're stuck right now and you're trying to get to that next level. I think it's a great thing. So in terms of what you've done, could you explain, since you've kind of been on this path, this enlightened path, maybe, you know, one of the biggest failures that you've been through and how you got out the other side? And the reason why we ask this question is kind of like, what's your take on the way that you got through that failure or that challenge? So could you share something with us?
Biggest failure. I think any time that I failed has been because of my own doubts. A lot of people, I feel like, have different issues, like with a lot of other people, but I was raised to be intolerant of stupid shit. Like my dad he don't know bullshit. I'm not dealing. So whenever somebody brings that to me, I automatically just push them out the way. So anytime that I face a challenge, it's been within my own mind. Cool. When I was a personal trainer, I created a product. What was it called? Fast Action Core Conditioning. That's what it was called. And I had gotten all these people to join in and to work on it, to test it and all this stuff. And when it came, I had built this list of like 1,000 people using Instagram. You know? I actually I used to run a fast action, an Instagram profile called Fast Action Fitness. And that's where I started with my voiceovers and things like that. I don't know if you the workout videos too, but I did voiceovers for those, and that's really what got that big. But I had all the things lined up to even try to sell this product, and the doubts was just like, well, this is the same shit they've been buying everywhere. You can go on YouTube and see all this workout stuff.
Yeah.
And that stopped me at a time where I was broke and could have used that income. Even, like I said, like 1,000 something people. Even if I sold 10 of the product, it was for like $30, I think. Even if I sold 10 of them, that would have helped something. That would have gave me some kind of momentum, some kind of confidence.
Yeah.
But instead of going with that, I decided to let my doubt stop me. And I was using different programs. I had lead pages and stuff like that. And I didn't have the money to keep on running these programs. So I pretty much dropped the ball on that. And that taught me like not to doubt myself. I mean, the whole thing was, if I thought about it like this, then the people didn't come for the workout shit anyway. They came to hear what kind of nonsense I was gonna say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So looking back, that was one of my biggest failures, you know. And I'm actually kind of glad for it, because if I'd been successful as a personal trainer, I might not have gotten to where I'm at with this whole life coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a good distinction as well. It's because whether it's fitness, whether it's business coaching, life coaching, and this is my own experience of working with business owners, is a lot of the time the imposter syndrome kind of sets in. And just like you said, it's kind of, you know, why do they want to learn from me? Why do they want to consume my information? There's hundreds of business coaches or life coaches or this. And what I have to explain to people is actually, but there's a community of people who want you. They just don't know you exist yet. And it's your job to show up and, you know, help. Like we were speaking about earlier, you know, that the priority is actually to help. And this is how I kind of turn things around for my clients as well, and just get them to think differently with their marketing message, is that if you can help somebody with their biggest pain or problem with what you do, your service or your core program, whatever it is, you can help that person, then it's your duty to get them on board and sell them, because otherwise they're left with that pain or problem when you have the solution, but yet you haven't chose to show up to help them.
Exactly. And that's selfish.
Exactly.
That's selfish.
Yeah.
That's selfish.
So for me, I relate to that. And, you know, there's times where I've had the same experience myself. And, you know, you hear from a lot of the successful people as you kind of searching for answers. And they always say, start before you're ready. And you're like, really? Cool. So thanks for sharing that, Alonzo. So what I'd like to do is kind of flip the script. What's been one of your most successful accomplishments up until now, and how did that come about?
My biggest accomplishments. Man, I think that would be just accepting myself and really focusing on being myself, really focusing on putting me out there, my authenticity.
Yeah.
And I had an experience when we did these books, when me and Doug did these books, he walked me through doing these books. It actually landed me at this marketing event, this big marketing event in San Diego, like on the panel. So I was going to be on stage talking to business owners and things like that. Now at this time, I'm not even sure I have a business. Business is so slow and so bad. And that was another time I felt fear. Like, it's some of the people out there, they have been running the business for as long as I've been alive, millionaires and stuff. And I'm like, in my head, what the fuck can I tell these people who are already so successful and so great at what they do?
Yeah.
And it was scary. It was scary. It was intimidating. So I told Doug, this motherfucker's amazing, Doug. I told him that, and he basically told me what I had that none of them had was my personality. And it clicked. And I was like, I am live. I am lit. These people are boring. I didn't mean to like attack them and them, but they were, you know, they were fuddy-duddies, you know. And then we all have different energies, and mine's just up there. That right there was a massive success for me, to just take what he said and embrace it. And just, that helped me to put me into everything that I did.
Got it.
And there was another occurrence. I went to an event, and BOE032, this speaker, he told us to be charitable, but not with our money, with ourselves. And I left that event early because I was so inspired to go do something. And that's when I went home and I actually started recording like this audio course.
Yeah.
He said, give everybody more of you. I was like, all right, so I'm gonna give them my voice. I'm gonna give them my face. I'm gonna just put everything that I have into their mind. And I started recording the voiceover in the booth. I have rapper friends, which is it's cool because they got microphones and stuff like that. So I started recording that. And that actually ended up being the start of the fitness voiceovers.
Okay.
And the fitness voiceovers, they taught me how powerful my personality was as well. You know, that's another big success of mine. Just realizing the power of my personality, or not just mine, but the power that we all have when we are our authentic selves and put our personalities out there.
Cool. I think it's actually very powerful what you share, and here's my kind of take on that, because authenticity is actually, it's become one of those buzzwords that people are like, huh? You kind of bullshitting me. It's like, are you just dropping the word authentic even? And I think here is how, you know, I see this in me, I see this in my clients and what I'm getting from you. And this is really for Elevation Nation, everybody listening right now, because there's a lot of times that you're in business, but you're doing things because of what you believe people are expecting of you. You're doing this because of what you see in the marketplace, and you're doing this to conform. And, you know, the way you just explained that, Alonzo, for me, it's kind of like the authenticity and the authentic approach that you're bringing is exactly what your mentor said, is bring your personality. And I think it's actually one of the strongest things, because if you're brave enough and courageous enough and you do bring yourself, actually some amazing things happen. And it's like we were saying earlier in the conversation, you kind of disqualify the people you don't want to work with, and you attract in and qualify the people who do resonate on your level, at your energy. And I think that's a real powerful statement. And I'm saying this predominantly for everybody listening, because so often I'm working with coaches and consultants, and one of the biggest things is like, I'm not sure if I can do that, or I'm not sure how people will take me. And that's what people want. They're dying to break out of the norm of social media scrolling and, you know, the monotony of life, and actually not even knowing that there's something different. And actually, when you bring your personality, amazing things happen, not only for you, but the people who are waiting to hear you. So that's awesome. So I've got a question then, Mr. Lip Monk. Give me 3 tips for our listeners right now in what they need to be thinking about in terms of what you do, in terms of the authentic approach, the higher vibration. What do they need to consider right now? Because I know you gave me 3 things in your mantra at the beginning. What 3 tips could, let's say, a coach or business owner take on board right now to start moving in that right direction?
Be happy. First thing is be happy. Because when you're happy and you're feeling joy, you're exuding that. You're putting that into everything you do. And as creators, if we imbue the things we create with that energy, it's going to have that much more impact.
Yeah.
Okay. Happiness is like one of the highest vibrations. Happiness, joy, love. Find that within yourself first and give that to other people. And you don't have to give it to other people. Just be it. Yeah. Because you be the change you want to see. You don't have to say anything. A lot of times I just be myself, and that vibration teaches people, you know, it's okay to be yourself. Not only is it okay, it's fucking fun. It's enjoyable. Then you focus on the money. Make sure you're happy first. Then you figure out how to make money from that. Okay. Something that you said earlier. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. You know, it's okay to kind of take some pieces from what they're doing, but don't just copy what they're doing. Take the pieces that resonate with you and bring them into what you do, and then put your own special twist on it all. That's how we create new things. That's how you can stand out in a saturated market. And really, every market is saturated. Yeah. The uniqueness that you bring as yourself is what sets you apart from everybody else.
Absolutely.
A third one, manage your energy, like on all levels, not just the happiness and stuff, but your physical energy. You know, get some fitness stuff, work out, get your nutrients and stuff like that. Don't eat shit that's making you sluggish and sleepy. Take care of your body. Because you need this, regardless if you if you work and sit at a desk all day, or you go out and build houses. My dad's a carpenter, so I've done 10-hour days lugging big ass doors up and downstairs. Yeah. Regardless, you work with your body because you got to get up out of bed. You got to walk to your car. You got to get in your car. You got to drive to work and stuff. So if your body is not working in working order, you're fucked. You can't move if you get sick and you get hurt and stuff like that. Not to mention having everything in working order increases your energy. As far as that goes, like nutrition and stuff, I've gone to some lengths to really have a really, really high level of energy. Like right now, the main thing that I do as far as eating, right now, I fast for about 18 hours a day. And I don't eat till like 8 at night.
So just quickly, Alonzo, so when you fast for that long, does that mean during the 6 hours that you have left, is that when you eat? Because I've never fasted myself, so I don't really understand it.
Yeah. It's intermittent fasting, intermittent fasting.
Okay.
So it's like you fast for a portion of the day and then you eat in a certain window. So that's what it is. But throughout the day, I have these this shake was just all superfood powders, natural stuff, and I'll drink that a few times throughout the day. More so if I'm going to the gym, just so I have that energy, more energy. Yeah. Because when your body doesn't have to digest food, you have more energy to do other things. And I'm action motherfucking Jackson. I like to be productive. I like to get shit done. And if I'm eating, that takes time. If I gotta digest, I feel all tired, I want to take a nap, that takes more time. Yeah. So I just more energy, the better.
Interesting. I've never had it broken down to me like that before, because I'm probably thinking what a lot of people might be thinking, which is, well, surely if you've not eaten, rather than more energy, you're thinking about eating.
Oh yeah.
And maybe your attention's not on the right things.
Yeah, you gotta. It takes some practice with it. I know the first time I actually fasted, like full on fast, 24 hours. I didn't have money to buy any food, and I didn't want to ask anybody for no money. So you know what? I've been wanting to try some fasting, so let's see what we got. I did 3 days.
Wow.
And on the fourth day, this lady from Instagram who had seen me, she was like, I mentioned cookies in one of my posts on my fitness page. She was like, I'm going to send you some cookies. So she sent me some cookies from New York. And on that fourth day, I got the cookies. And a friend of mine also, he hit me up and he took me out to lunch and took me out to eat and stuff like that. He didn't know what was going on, but that's just what had happened after that third day. And after the first day, it was just like, you know what? This isn't bad at all. I actually feel good. I feel more awake. I feel more energized. I have more clarity. So fasting, it sounds like people are like, what the fuck, fasting? I gotta eat.
Yeah.
When you do it, you learn that we don't need to eat as much as we eat. Like, we can definitely do it with a lot less.
Cool. I've got a question then, and this is just off the back of fasting and food now. Are you meat eater or vegetarian?
Vegetarian.
Okay, so dairy or non-dairy?
Dairy. I do dairy.
Okay.
Pizza, man. Pizza. I be like, I'm gonna go vegan, but then that pizza be like, come on.
I get it, man. I get it. Because my girlfriend, she's vegetarian. And so we don't tend to have like cow's milk. We'll have like almond milk, that kind of stuff, So cool. That's interesting. I still eat chicken and fish, so I'm good. I don't tend to eat a lot of red meat these days, but hey ho. So here's my next question. What's the one thing our community of listeners right now need to be aware of, in your opinion?
One thing they need to be aware of. You know what? I'll say they need to be aware of what not to be aware of. There's so much shit going on around us that distracts us. Yeah. That we can't control, but it's like it's become some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Some kind of how do I want to say this? People have decided that it's fun to get together and complain about shit. Yeah. Okay. Whether it's the latest politics and politicians stuff, I'm not gonna get into that. But let's just go with that right there. Yeah. You got these people doing this nonsense, and everybody's like looking and saying, "Oh my God, look at what such and such is doing," but they're complaining. They're not doing anything to change anything.
There's no action motherfucking Jackson going on.
Action motherfucking Jackson. Exactly. So instead of looking at that, instead of bashing what you hate, elevate what you love.
Yeah.
So stop being so aware of the bullshit going on and really focus on what you have going on, because as entrepreneurs, we're here to change the world. You know, you might not think of it just yet, but just taking that step away from the system, away from the traditional path, it inspires others to do the same thing. So what I'm doing, I might not reach 1 million people, but like Tupac said, I'm probably going to inspire somebody who's going to do that. I might inspire the next Beyonce, the next big star. You know,
I think the next Samuel L. Jackson, if I'm honest.
That too. Whoever it is, they're going to be an inspirational person to have massive impact. And of course, I'm working to have a massive impact.
Awesome.
So just be more, stop paying attention to all the bullshit going on. Really focus on the good shit, because it's there. It's there.
Thanks for sharing that, Alonzo. So what's the one thing in either life or business that you can't live without?
That I can't live without? Man. Self-expression. I say self-expression. I gotta put myself out there. I have to be and just do the things that my soul wants to do, because that's really what it is. Like we said, there's a bigger energy, and it works through us. This larger energy, it is what it is. It's love and joy and happiness and bliss. Then there's us, our human self, which is our personality. So if we let our soul and this bigger energy move through us, it'll do great things as us. It can. There's me as I am, and there's this other monk, you know, Ananda Giri. He doesn't have this high energy personality. He's very calm, very quiet, but he still lets the soul flow through him in the way it's going to flow through him. So his messages, it's more calm, it's more quiet, but when he's in a room, he has all the attention. You know, because he's so quiet. But me, I do the same thing. High energy, I have all the attention, but it's from a different way. So it's the same soul energy coming through a different personality.
That's cool. And I think, just like you say, it's like the personality of the soul coming through, you know, just and I suppose amplifying that message out to the people in the way that is authentic to you, I suppose. So thanks for sharing that. So, you know, we're getting close to the end of the interview now, Alonzo. And first of all, I want to say thank you for taking the time out to do this interview with our Elevation Nation. They're along with us, really appreciate it. But if somebody wishes to get in touch with you, what's the best way? You know, what social media are you most active on? Where can people follow you, and your website and so on?
Instagram at ActionMF. That is my hub right now. Like I said, I'm in the rebranding phase. Like I have the life coach thing. I just wrote the book to kind of solidify myself as the life coach, as the monk. So tell us more about the book just before you give us all these social media stuff. Okay, so I recently wrote a book. It's called Fly Coup. It looks backwards on here, but I don't know how it looks to you.
No, it looks straight to me.
Cool. So Fly Coup, Musings of a Motherfucking Monk. All right. And it's basically a combination between some poetry, haiku, and life coach stuff. So I've got some fly coup pieces, and I call them fly coup because, you know, that's,
you're down with the street, yeah.
But there's also things like how to start your day off in a way that'll make your entire day better, like morning rituals and things like that. How you can live to have a higher energy and that kind of thing. So,
so is this available on Amazon?
Yes, indeed, sir, it is. So on Amazon, I actually have some here that I've been signing and mailing off as well.
Awesome.
So on Amazon, you can just look up Fly Coup or Action MF.
So how do people get a signed copy, just out of interest?
They can actually DM me
on
through,
Instagram. Okay, cool.
And actually, it's cheaper than on Amazon. But if you're international, they trying to tax like $100-something. I just wanted this art, amazing cover art by this guy named Mike at Mike Nice ATL on Instagram. Incredible artist. We were actually in the gifted program. We were in elementary school together. So
okay, cool. That's awesome. So what's the web address as well, Alonzo?
My web address, It's Action MF, but it's nothing on there right now.
Okay, that's cool. But I'm sure at some point very soon when this comes out, everybody's going to be checking out that website and it's going to have some stuff on there. So, okay, so actionmf.com, is that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, awesome. So perfect. Thank you very much for sharing. I'm glad we got the book on as well, because that was one of the things that I was checking out and saw on your profile that made you seem more legit, man. And I was like, okay, this is the real action motherfucking Jackson. He's doing some
that
shit.
Right there. That's marketing strategy. You might have heard like positioning. I do positioning. And once you come out with a book, it changes the way people look at you. Because like I said about the whole thing getting up on stage, I didn't know anything about marketing, but because I had 2 books on personal training, people automatically saw me as an expert personal trainer, and I had only been doing it for like 8-9 months.
It's one of those things about society. It's what I teach my clients. It's like how to position yourself as an authority. A book is a great way. I mean, I'm currently in the editing phase of my own, so everybody listening to this right now, they're like, huh? What's the book, Leon? What's the book? And it's coming to an Amazon store near you guys, and that's what it is for now. But I just want to say thank you once again, Alonzo, Action motherfucking Jackson in the house. Thank you everybody for listening. Elevation Nation, it's through your support that we continue to grow and bring you more great guests just like we've had today. So please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, and we will continue to elevate you. Alonzo, it's been really interesting. I feel like we need to get you more, back on again and just dig deeper more into the book and just kind of like pull some stuff out. So it might be we do something again, we get you back on, because I think there's a great message here. And here it is for me, just to sum up, guys. You're in business, you're either a coach, consultant, business owner, and a lot of the times the true you isn't really coming out. And you'll know that because in your mind, you're probably thinking, I can do things a better way, or I can actually, or you just realize that actually, there's something more that you're looking for, and you're just not, living up to the truth of who you are and being authentic about your approach. And what I'd say, guys, is that listen back to this episode again, because the simplicity of the message that Alonzo shares is quite often the thing that we're all looking for, but overlook in business because we haven't given it the time of day. And the more I grow into this journey of life in my 38 years, the more I understand that actually, if you can harness the power of these fundamentals, and I'm sure you're going to find more in Alonzo's book, please do that, guys. I just want to say, Alonzo, it's been a pleasure. It's been amazing. And I'm, grateful to bring you and, have you on the show for our listeners. So thank you, Alonzo.
So man, thank you for having me. This has been incredible. This made my day. Okay. Awesome. This has been so much fun. I've talked to people who just like, kind of boring, but man, you got the juice, man. You got the energy. You all there. You definitely Leon motherfucking Street.
I'll take that to the bank. Thank you, Alonzo.